Okay, I just got back from the doctor office, right? And throughout the morning, even right now, I saw people I used to follow on Instagram with their babies. Well, I still follow them on Instagram, and the newly way of me responding to that is just disgusting. This is what I call the post mapping reaction. Because what they do is like they make you experience these nasty things, and like now we mapped it, we're making you feel that before you felt normally because you weren't mapped, right? They use these retards who want you to accept this nasty manipulation when it's clear, obvious manipulation. This is now, before I was able to see this picture normally, now I'm getting this sensation. The way they try to make themselves believe that this is natural is now we're doing things to your brain to make you feel the way you felt at some point. Before you were just you, before we were just able to make you feel things that you felt as a kid. Now you gotta understand that's the things they do. And that's how stupid they want you to be. And in my brain, there's true battles. It's like, no, but so how come we're able to do that for this kid? It's because you're manipulating my brain. How come you have to go to my brain and manipulate me to experience something? Because you do the pedophilia type of torture. That's what's happening. And it's more obvious when they do this towards somebody who I was able to see normally. In my brain, there's some of the battles that I'm having is like, no, but you see, kids like that, we can do that because that's how you felt when you were a kid toward kids. Like, but I was able to see that before this. So you're saying that you're going to my brain, make me experience a certain way, that you're saying that kids like that at some point in my childhood, I will feel something like that in my childhood or something like that, but it needs to be manipulated this way. Now, I know that these people are doing their best to try to get you to accept this nasty manipulation. Even the manipulation that shows that there's a before and after result. The after result is now the mapping version. The before result, none of this reaction. So what does mapping mean? You understand? Mapping means that there is some kind of restructuring of your brain. That your brain needs to be manipulated. They know that, but the thing is, they are trying to push you to insanity. That's why when I hear them talk, it's like retards. It's like, this is me. I used to be able to see her and this little baby, this adorable little baby with the mother all the time. When you start restructuring my brain, mapping my brain, this is how I react today. So what does it mean? It means that my brain is being manipulated by people who have renowned to be doing the pedophilia type of torture. And if you're saying that what you're doing is to make me perceive this kid the way I would have perceived him when I was a child, and before I was perceiving this kid as an adult, are you saying that you're turning me into a childlike individual? Do you understand how retarded these people are? Then they make themselves talk in this tonality via V2K to frustrate me. Because the humiliation of reality, I'll show that. I think I made a video of that, of this kid and her mother. Very cute, a little tiny little girl. I mean, now she's older, but that's an old picture. And they used to have that picture all the time. I remember seeing them all the time, nothing. Now I get that weird sensation. It's like, now we mapped that sensation. You felt it before. We just mapped you out. But the reality of these people working for entities where pedophilia is such an issue, they will call top tier in regard of child porn being shared. And these are the people who are mapping my brain to react this way. You got to be strong. You just got to understand these people are pedophiles. They sold their soul to pedos. And then when they try to circle me, manipulate me in different ways, they're like, no, now you pay for what you did as a kid. It's like, what? I know you torture children. Do you know that, right? And you're making me feel these disturbing ways because you have manipulated my brain to feel this way. You do the pedophilia type of torture. I'm not a child. You do horrible things to babies as small as this little baby that you forced me to get stimulation, that you say you mapped it. When you forced me to get stimulation, I was able to see her normally before. Now that I'm mapped, I'm seeing it this way with this stimulation. What does it mean? It means that you guys are trying to make me experience this nasty stimulation toward children. and then try to make me subscribe to this. I'm talking to people who literally torture children, and the entities that run this program are filled with pedophiles, and they're here, now what we're doing, we'll just make you think like a child. Pay for what you did as a kid. I was like, what? First of all, when I was a kid, I could see this and not feel the stimulation. You are forcing me to get the stimulation. But on top of that, what I did as a child is what a child can do. And I'm not a child. So why would you even try to manipulate a brain to have are you trying to retrograde, like make me retarded? Mentally retarded? Are you trying to push my brain into a brain of a developing child? Is that the goal of this? This is retarded. And then if you try to talk about me as a kid, knowing that I know what you do to kids, you torture babies. I know the reality. I will never let you live your fantasy. When they do these things, as mapped as it feels like it is, it's like you make my point even better. So there was me before, and then after being mapped. Now that I'm mapped, I get this nasty reaction. What does mapping mean then? It means that you're making me feel something that I will not experience naturally. You are making me feel something that I'm forced to experience that is not natural. Now, I understand this is coming from people who are pedophiles. These entities have true problem with pedophilia. They've sold their soul to pedos. There's no coming back from that. They have been this validation that pedophilia is a true fucking problem. There is no countering that. There's nothing they can do about that. From the CIA to DOD, there's pedos run. There's so much pedophilia. Top tier pedophilia. Like, it's just too bad. Well, these retards want me to be like, no, we mapped it. What? I'm being mapped by pedos? Of course, there's going to be some pedophilia stuff. But the truth is, they do the pedophilia type of torture to torment people. They break people down in these ways. So for me, I'm like, yo, if you're going to use a picture of a mother and daughter that I used to be able to see normally, and now I'm seeing it with the mapping version, it just proved my points. Is you're changing my brain. I went to the doctor. I go into the Uber or whatever. This guy, he's doing his best to try to counter reality. He's doing it like you can see he's a trashy piece of shit. I can tell immediately. I'm listening to, how the DOD is ranked the 19th out of 3,000, and there's a bunch of pedos in these agencies. Why they're sharing child porn like this using governmental network, and what's the whole issue? And you see him, he's like, no, we mapped that shit. I was like, look at you, my friend. You sold yourself to pedophiles. They try to bring up anything about you there as a kid. It's like, what? I'm listening to what they do to babies, 3-week-old. Trash ass. This nasty fucking perception is what you can make me experience. And then I'm listening to women, it's like they do this pedophilia type of torture. They manipulate my brain. And then here now, we mapped you out. Motherfucker, the pedos are mapping me up. I guess I'm sure I'm going to have some pedophilia things. But at this point, I feel like so honorable. I go into the office, the clinic office. They try to be like, oh yeah, you lied, they did this, oh, that was sex. And try to talk about corny or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, you want to do this? You sure you want to do this? Because where should I start? Should I talk about the sexual torture of the women or the children? Which one do you prefer? Which one should we start with? Or should we go with the mass shooting? Or should we go to like how your gods are a bunch of pedophiles? Like how do you want to go with this? How? Oh, maybe should I say Roy Moore? Man, they start to talk about anything they could. I say abuse. I'm listening. I saw my 7-year-old student grab their crotch because she was hurt. I saw my 3-year-old boy hurting, his genital hurting. I said, listen to the pedophilia issues. Oof. It's just so much. And then the one that I can hear them, oh, you're a victim. I'm like, hey, hello, Roy Moore. Yes. Yeah, are you still on top tier? Yes, in Texas. Yes. Whoop, quiet. Oh, top 10 this year? Wow. I mean, sorry, top 1 this year, top 10 all the time? Wow. Got back to work, tried to look at it. It's like, yeah. Yep, I go downstairs waiting for the Uber. They tell me how they're gonna frame me, gonna ride in hell. I'd rather ride in hell than ride for fucking top tier, you piece of shit. They start looking away. Everybody pack up and goes in. It's like, it's too much. Like, the more I'm here, the more validation I get. I come here, I get this GoFund thing. They do the stimulation, but it's not too strong because I think the kid is older or something like that. Then I go back, and as I'm looking at my friend, as I'm looking at an Instagram friend that I follow for years, I mean decades, almost less than a decade, but almost a decade. Same, she's been having the same profile for the last 7, 8, 9 years or so with her and her child. Stimulation, bah! And they give me the sensations like that. That's what we mapped. I was like, yeah, but you understand, I've seen that before, the mapping, and I know I didn't get that nastiness. It's like, now you felt like that when your kid, we mapped it to you as a kid. You see, now you feel. I was like, exactly. So you're saying that there was a time where I was not feeling like that before August 19, 2019, and then you did something to my brain for me to react this way. That's what there's one day a retard, this guy who's like, no, it's you when you were 14 years old. Never. For me, I'd rather die slow and ride in hell than working for pedophiles who are rewiring people's brain and are willing to even dumb themselves down to say, no, what we're doing, we're making your brain be a child. You see? That's how we catch predators. I mean, I know the reality of what they're doing. They're just trying to push me to insanity. I understand that. I know that's the reality of that. I understand the concept of what they're trying to do. They're saying things like that just to push me to insanity. The reality is they're trying to make me experience disturbing things, to look at myself in different ways. The reality is I'm looking at myself better and better. In regard of how I look myself, I don't look better and better. I look at myself better and better. I am feeling more and more like dignified. There's so much shit I can say to somebody who wants to make me believe this dumb shit. It's like, yeah, you top tier. The top tier is mapping me out. What do you say to that? That's what you got, your top tier, top mappers. They can't even say Roy Moore. You get it? Oh, I used to see that before map. But when I'm mapped now, that's how I see it. My brain, when I'm a kid, that makes sense. That's how you catch them, huh? Fucking retard. To all my target individuals, stay strong. Stay strong, because the humiliation of reality is going to be faced to them. Now, for me, I need to be strong for the torture I'm going to experience, because the humiliation of reality is just so nasty. They're so embarrassed by reality. This one woman who waited for me to get the elevator, I was like, oh, I'm going to sin. It's like, she was talking about Myron May, who made his prayer was, God forgive me for my past sin, present sins, and future sins. And then went in the library and started shooting. This trash comes in, oh, we're going to sin. It's like, trash, you're going to sin. That thing left long ago. You know who has your soul? Pedophiles, you piece of shit. Your sin has caused mass shooting and horrible things to even babies. My friend, you can't even say you are trapped for real. Me, I'm framed. That's different. You are trapped. I can look at you and say, hey, say Roy Moore. Why? Top tier. So I'm looking at these bottom tiers who want me to think that it's anything but this top tier government that's doing this thing to us. Mapping people now to be like, yeah, okay. Yeah. You are you are manipulating people. There's the before reaction and after reaction. The before, no reaction, they're just normal, looking at just like anybody, a cute little girl with her mother. Now stimulation, sensations, like, now you remember you felt kind of like that when you were a kid, remember? You know, don't you feel like that like 7, 8, 9, 10 maybe? Fucking trash. They're nasty low life. But for me, these brain manipulations, I will see it as that's what they try to do to break me down. This mental torture they utilize to try to make me see myself differently. I love myself ever more. I'm unhealthy, but I love myself so much. So much. I can go in a place where there's a bunch of people, all sorts, and I look at them for the shit that they are. I can see them for the low life that they are, and I can see myself better than all of them. cowards and lowlife that use human subjects as guinea pigs and then tell them that we are delusional shit. To all my target individuals, stay strong.